Welcome to the NC DWI Guy Podcast, where defenders of the Constitution assemble to prepare for courtroom battle and firm owners gather to develop marketing strategies that will revolutionize the practice of criminal defense. Here's your host, the NC DWI Guy, Jake Minick.
Hello, fellow freedom fighters, and welcome to another episode of the NC DWI Guy Podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the strategic plan for your firm in 2021. We're here in the middle of December 2020, and it is time to make sure that we have a plan for the coming year. Where do you want your firm to be in 1 year from now, in December of 2021? You can only get to where you want to be in December of 2021 if you are planning now on how to get there. Pablo Picasso once said, "Our goals can only be reached through the vehicle of a plan. There is no other route to success." That's simple, right? That makes sense. We all would get that. But it's amazing how many of us really don't plan our firms, plan our businesses, plan our lives to move towards the direction that we want to go. We have to have a plan in order to take the appropriate steps to get to where we want to be. And we have just been given an incredible gift on this front by the North Carolina Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice. On Friday, last Friday, the Chief Justice announced that the courts will be closed for 30 days, minimum of 30 days. So kind of like we were back in March, April, May, we're in that same space again now for mid-December to mid-January, maybe longer than that, but at least for 30 days. And so unlike when the Chief Justice's order came at us on the middle of March of this year, and it came out of left field, right? We weren't expecting the coronavirus to hit in December of last year. We weren't expecting that COVID would be the main struggle that we would face in 2020. And so when courts closed, shut down, even though we somewhat maybe saw that coming, I think it took a lot of us by surprise to have such a drastic closing of the courts that we had never seen before. This time around, let's not be caught by surprise. This time around, now that the courts are closed for 30 days, we have the opportunity to really spend some time at the office, sitting down, looking at our firms, looking at our lives, and drawing out the map, drawing out the plan that we are going to execute in 2021 to get our lives and our businesses where we want them to be. If things have gone well in 2020, kudos. That's a big deal because it's been a very difficult year for a lot of people. If things have gone poorly in 2020, even though a lot of that may have been outside of your control, it's time to zero in on what can be improved, to build upon the good things that we have done this year, to strategize about what we can do better, where we can eliminate waste, where we can spend time studying our craft so that we can improve the service that we offer. This is the time for planning. Generally, you'd be planning 2021 at this point anyways, because it's that kind of end of year strategy session. But it's even more important coming out of this chaotic, difficult, uncertain 2020. It's even more difficult If you have looked back at December of 2019, many people might look back at December of 2019 and say, I sat down and I wrote out my firm's goals, the vision. I had a profit that I was hoping to hit in 2020. I had all kinds of plans, and then COVID came around and it all just crumbled. So what is the point in planning? When are we going to be out of this uncertain time? What's the point in spending time planning my 2021 when I did that back in December 2019, everything just fell apart. And I can tell you from personal experience, we had all kinds of numbers that we were going to hit this year. We had a number of in-person events planned at the firm that fell to the wayside that we had planned in December of 2019 for 2021. We had financial goals for each attorney that went by the wayside when COVID hit and the cases just were not there in the same way that we expected them or anticipated them to be. So we spent a lot of strategic time planning in 2019 that was not able to come to fruition in the way that we had seen it only 3 months later. 3.5 months later, a major issue was thrown into our plan. Really, 2.5 months into this year, our plan really went sideways. And so many people might think, well, why would I even plan? We're still in COVID. We're still in this time of uncertainty. Why would I spend my time right now trying to plan when I didn't see another shutdown coming, 3 weeks ago, and now here we are again, 30-day shutdown. Maybe there'll be another one. What is the point of planning? And I think we all recognize that is just poor thinking. It's just bad thinking. Every coach in the NFL goes into each Sunday with a game plan that is specific to their opponent that they're facing that week. And we could look at it the same way as the opponent that we are facing in 2021. We need to have a strategy, a game plan for winning in 2021. Now, does that game plan get altered based on the game flow, the score, how the other team is playing, injuries that happen during the game? Of course it does. That's why some of the great coaches are the coaches that can go in at halftime and say, we need to really change a lot of things, right? You may have gone into 2020 in December of last year, December 2019, you may have had a game plan for 2020, and then first quarter rolls around and things have gone nuts, right? Your quarterback is injured. The score is a blowout at this point. It seems like everything has just gone crazy, and the game plan that you came in with is not going to work if you want to try to keep winning the game. You're going to have to adjust. But just because you have to adjust does not mean it was okay to go into the game without a game plan. You need a game plan in order to give yourself the highest chance of success. And then, of course, you make the adjustments during the game that need to be made. And so we're going to go in to 2021 with a game plan, with a playbook. And then as 2021 unfolds, we will adjust the strategy accordingly based on the circumstances that we find ourselves in 3 months from now, 6 months from now. But we need an overarching game plan. Now, when you sit down to plan your 2021 year, what is it that you are focusing on? Are you planning out your court dates? Are you planning out which cases that you're going to try? Are you planning out how many days you're going to work in the office to get the business to grow? I think it's important right now to take a step even further back than that and figure out what is the purpose of your law practice. What role is that assisting? What role is your law practice playing in the betterment of your personal life, in the betterment of your community, in the betterment of your family? Don't be too narrow focused, because the planning of how you want your firm to execute is based on how your firm is supporting, how your business is supporting your personal goals, the goals that you have to put yourself at the next level. John Nesbitt said that strategic planning is worthless unless there is first a strategic vision. This goes back to what we talked about in episode in episode 1, the why of your firm, right? Go back and listen to episode 1. Go back and listen to why we are doing what we do. Because if you cannot answer that question, if you can't figure out why you are doing what you do, and really think through that in a detailed and complex way, then none of the strategic planning that you're going to do for 2021 is going to be building in the right direction. Your business exists to support yourself, your family, your community. That's what it should exist for. And if it is not doing that, you kind of need to go back to the drawing board. You need to start over and have a better strategic plan that is supporting your strategic vision. So, simple exercise to kickstart your strategic planning for 2021. And that is to sit down and answer in a paragraph why your firm exists. Sit down and in 3 or 4 sentences, one is great, but at most 3 or 4 sentences, write out why your firm exists. You have to have a mission statement, a central vision for your firm, so that you can then map out, how do I live according to that vision? Simple exercise. Do that. Do that right now. Take 20 minutes, sit down at your desk, and write out why your business exists. And then over the next couple of weeks, don't wait. Don't wait until after Christmas, after New Year's. We have been given a huge gift in terms of time of not having to be in court. The daily life of district court is difficult because it requires so much of our time and attention in the courtroom. For those of us that practice in the courtroom, that practice in the district courts of North Carolina, doesn't leave a lot of time in the office unless we get really intentional about how we're going to spend our time working on our business. But right now, we don't have to even think about it. We have been given the gift of 30 days to work on our business, to work primarily on our business. So once you've written down your why statement, your mission statement, why your business exists, use these next couple of weeks, these next few weeks, to really plan according to that strategic vision. Here's to an amazing finish to 2020 and to an amazing 2021. Look forward to seeing you next time. Hope you enjoyed today's episode of the podcast. If you did, please share the podcast with another freedom fighter in the criminal defense community, and be sure to leave us a rating on iTunes. See you next time.